Well, hello again, and welcome back to the Dragon's Corner, where we're going to do another reading from the Convergence, Book 1 of the Dragon Within Saga. Continue our saga of listening to it. And as we live off, we just had Drin and his mother share kind of an emotional embrace as they're preparing to leave. So here we go. Because our farm was located between the city of Tisdale and its festival grounds, our journey was much shorter than the average inhabitants. I often wondered why my father's family had picked this portion of land to establish a farm, and came to one of two conclusions. It was either appointed because fortune had shined down upon our forefathers, or because there was some other greater power at work who understood the nature of Hythlin. She was able to cover large amounts of terrain in relatively short periods of time, if its attachments were limited to exploration for exploration's sake. However, once there was any other attachment that resembled a concrete established end and destination, her endurance mysteriously vanished. "Drin, can I ride on your shoulders?" asked Hythlin. Out of the corner of my eye, I could see the faintest of grins develop on my father's lips. "Not yet, Hythlin," I returned. "But why? My legs are already tired." "How can they be tired already?" I turned to see if our farm was still visible in the distance. "I can still see our fields from here." "Come on, Drin, please," she said with elongated vowels as she clung to my arm in an effort to show me exactly how tired she had become. "I have seen you walk from one end of the Breckenwood to the other with your sister in half the time it takes me. If anyone is giving anyone a shoulder ride, I should be asking you for one," I said with exaggerated motions. "No, we always take breaks." "No, we do not, Hythlin," said Janola's soft voice. "Janola, we do too take breaks. Mother, can you tell Drin to let me ride on his shoulders?" she said as she turned to plead her case to another set of ears. "I am sorry, my dear, I cannot do that. They are his shoulders, and he should be able to decide if and when someone rides upon them," my mother returned as she quickly followed the direction of our family debate. "Mother!" she exclaimed as my father broke his stoic countenance and laughed. Hythlin continued her sentence. "Why is not anyone on my side?" Just then, I scooped her up and lifted her to sit squarely upon my shoulders. In doing so, I produced a screech of both fear and excitement. Fear because she completely did not expect to be lifted in the air at this particular moment in time, when it appeared the debate was sealed without a verdict leaning favorably in her direction. And then excitement when she had the split-second realization she was getting exactly what she had petitioned for. Following me by only seconds, my father scooped up Janola, producing a very similar reaction her sister had just displayed. "Remember the moment," I heard my mother state from behind as she observed her two men carrying her two daughters upon their shoulders while walking to a festival to honor me. I oftentimes heard my mother and father make this statement throughout my life, but did not ask her for an explanation of what its significance was until I was about 12 years old. In response to my question, my mother gave me this reply. "It is to remind us that life is about more than farming or any one large event. That life is about more than our day-to-day concerns. Life is about the little times, when we are not worried about the weather or winter or food. Life, if found in those rare moments in time when all things seem to be in place and we can be together as a family. Life is about those little moments of perfection when all is right in the world. And we must remember these moments because that is where the strength to continue living is found. They do not happen very often, Drin, and we must understand how precious they are." The closer we drew to the festival entrance, we saw the number of people and their diversities grow. Everyone from merchants to farmers, peasants to tradesmen, entertainers to royalty could be seen walking under the huge ark commissioned by the great Lord of Morden Henchent, all dressed in their finest attire. Carriages upon carriages were lined up waiting to drop off their respective passengers. Carts upon carts, each filled with a different commodity to sell, whether it be clothing, armor, weapons, artistry, or anything else that might bring a profit, were lined up at a different entrance to the north. "Father! Father! That man just blew fire from his mouth. Do you think he is part dragon?" Hythlin yelled. "It is very possible, but I think that was just a trick," he answered her. "Look at that!" exclaimed Janola, as she pointed toward a towering man obviously walking on a contraption extending his height beyond the bounds of mortality. Both of those were truly amazing. However, My attention had been drawn to the most enchanting sounds I had ever heard. Not too far toward our left and very close to the entrance were three ladies currently engaging in singing what must have been a song from a different part of Avendia, because I could not distinguish any known words. Upon closer examination, I saw that they were elves. I had heard rumors of descriptions from various merchants passing through our farm. From time to time, they would stop to provision their carts and caravans for the final leg of the trip from one of the more western cities to Twin Oaks. And as all merchants do, they love to tell stories about their travels. For the success of a merchant is determined in part by the reach of his goods. The farther his reach, the greater his reputation, and the more he could charge for his wares. Pervasive in every description regarding elves were three distinct attributes. Firstly, they were reported to be physically perfect. This perfection was not limited to stature alone, but extended to all things produced by their physicality, especially movement. Secondly, they were considered the best artisans in all of Avendia. From painting to poetry to music to other forms of personal expression, elves were considered to exist on a slightly higher plane than the rest of us. And thirdly, they were, for lack of any other term, arrogant. But this arrogance was excused more often than not, because who would not be arrogant having to live with that much perfection? From what I was seeing embodied by these elven women, the three descriptions were accurate. I could not remove my eyes from them, not because of a compulsion laid against and overcoming my will, but because their collective voices had combined to produce a sound of unequaled exclusivity, as if it had been produced for my ears alone. I was truly raptured, as if guided by the melodic fluctuations of their collective voices to follow a single path diverging from the combined brilliance. While my ears were focused upon the three, my eyes found their favor in one. That's going to conclude it for today, folks. Stay tuned for the next time. Do we find out more about the three elves singing, or do we find more about the festival and quite certainly the martial tournament? Have a great day, everyone. Thanks again for tuning in. Thanks again for the support. And always remember to release your dragon within. Thank you.